I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, the man who snuffed out 166 innocent lives back in 2008 and played an important role as far as the plotting of the 2008 26/11 terror attacks is today finally in the clutches of Indian law enforcement agencies. The plotter of these attacks, Tahawwur Rana, is finally in the custody of the NIA after a lengthy extradition process that took more than a decade. Today, the wheels of justice are rolling back in India following Tahawwur's return. But this seems to have also sparked a massive credit war. Remember, it was the UPA that initiated the extradition request, but a large part of the proceedings took place during the tenure of the NDA. So today, as the victims get closer to some sort of closure, who really deserves the credit for Rana's extradition? The India bloc says and is today asking, why did it take so long to get him back? And why has the government failed in bringing back Mehul Choksi and Nirav Modi so far? The BJP, on the other hand, is accusing the Congress of trying to snatch credit today after their own leaders chose to pin the blame on the RSS earlier. So who's really snatching credit? And is Rana's extradition only the beginning of the end for anti-India forces, or is this too little too late? For more on this, we have with us on our panel Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of BJP. Karan Verma, author, is with us. Ashok Sajjanhar is a former ambassador. With us is Ankur Chawla, who's a 26/11 survivor. Anish Gawande is national spokesperson of the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. Vivek Srivastava is a political analyst. And joining us also is national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, Vivek Silas. Let's quickly now take you through what exactly is the issue at hand over here in terms of the real political fight and what really has transpired as far as the 26/11 attacks are concerned. P. Chidambaram, who was then the Home Minister, has come out to say that the extradition is a result of UPA-era groundwork that was done. Efforts were initiated and led and sustained by the UPA, says P. Chidambaram. He further goes on to say that the government then persisted through institutional diplomacy. He further adds that in February, Prime Minister Modi and Trump tried to take credit for this particular instance, and he also says the Modi government merely benefited from the UPA's work that was done over a decade ago, says P. Chidambaram. Let's also tell you what exactly has been stated from the other side. In fact, what really transpired during the UPA era. It was on the 26th of November 2008. Of course, as we know, that 166 were killed in Mumbai. In August 2018, we have seen under Modi rule how the NIA had secured an arrest warrant. Let's also further go on to tell you what happened in the UPA era. In 2009, we saw how Rana was arrested in the US. In 2020, India had filed additional documents under the Modi government. In the UPA rule, we had also seen in 2011 how there was conviction in Denmark as far as LET cases are concerned. And of course, in 2020, we see documents that nail Rana's role in 26/11 that were filed under the NDA government. In 2011, we also saw how there was an acquittal as far as the Mumbai attack case is concerned. In May 2023, the California court had ordered the extradition of Tahawwur Rana under the Modi government. In 2011, the UPA government had expressed its disappointment as far as the developments were concerned. In August 2024, the US Court of Appeals rejected Rana's plea in the US under Modi government. In 2013, the UPA government had sent the extradition request for Tahawwur Rana. In Jan 2025, the US Supreme Court refused Rana's plea for mercy. Now, this is clearly under the Modi government vis-a-vis what happened during the UPA era as well as what happened during the Modi government as well. Shehzad, let me begin with you. Does the UPA or Mr. P. Chidambaram have a point when he says that the current NDA government has benefited from what was started in terms of a legal process under the then UPA government?
You know, Madhav, this is a shameful debate. And especially when we have a survivor of 26/11, that we are fighting over credit war. This picture should be about our commitment towards war on terror. First of all, Mr. Tahawwur Rana's extradition shows our resolve that even if the Atankwadi is in a hellhole, we will get him back. We will never forgive and never forget. We will put Rashtra Niti above vote bank ki niti. We will show zero tolerance and we will not be Mook Darshak, but we will give Muhtod Jawab like we have done in Balakot and in Uri. After Uri, we have done in surgical strike. But instead of that, what are we seeing? That mera credit. Now, first of all, explain to me. Kanhaiya Kumar says, ye to choti machli hai. Koi bada gain nahi hai. Raja Wading says, ki ye kaun hai Tahawwur Rana? And on the other hand, Chidambaram is saying, mujhe credit de do. I want to give credit to them. R.R. Patil, the then Home Minister, choti incident hai. Then, Hafiz Saeed Saab, said by the Congress leaders. Pakistan given clean sheet by Digvijay Singh. I'll make you hear a statement. Minority Affairs Minister Mr. Antule, in their common government, he said that this has been done by the Hindus, not by the Pakistan. Then it was not only Mr. Antule and Mr. Digvijay Singh. 23rd December 2008, it was just now on Times Now, Mr. Mulford, who was the American diplomat here, he sends a WikiLeaks cable that the entire Congress party is supporting this theory only for the sake of Muslim votes. Fali Major, who was speaking to Navika Kumar last 2 days, that I had told Manmohan Singh government take action on these terror camps. Instead, he said, no, we cannot take action. And in Barack Obama's book, it is written that because there could have been a damage to the vote bank, that is why no action was taken. So I want to finally give them credit that they have put vote bank interests above national interests, and therefore in 2011 and in 2013, they were unable to get any kind of movement done on Tahawwur Rana. In fact, they gave Pakistan a clean sheet.
Okay, respond to that. Vivek Srivastava, it was vote bank politics that ruled the roost as far as UPA is concerned. That's what BJP says. And if it was so successful, then why could it not secure this for at least 5 years that the UPA ruled post 2008?
Let us start one by one. Number one, he took the name of the former Air Chief Marshal, right? Is the defense qualified to give statements in the press? This is my first question.
Is there a gag on the defense?
No. The defense forces of this nation, they better know their place. And this gentleman also better know his place.
What are you saying?
He has no business to be coming.
Should not speak.
No. Is he supposed to, as per the rule book?
Is he supposed to, as per the rule book? Talking about the events, there are many air chiefs and army chiefs who've written their books, autobiographies.
See, he's just a media savvy guy trying to get attention now.
Really?
Dr. Manmohan Singh called him. He called all the three chiefs and he simply asked them, are we prepared? That's all. I mean, you are not supposed to be telling the government of India whether we have to go to war or not. We are not an army state, number one.
No, you were in the cabinet at that point of time. You knew what transpired?
Yes, we knew.
You knew?
We knew.
How did you know?
Condoleezza Rice was here. She met the Prime Minister. The Russians were in touch. Everybody requested India, don't go for a war. We will teach Pakistan a lesson.
I want Mr. Sajjanar to come in because Mr. Sajjanar would know a thing or two about how officials work. Let Mr. Sajjanar come in. Mr. Sajjanar, you agree with this understanding that former army chiefs, air chiefs should not talk in the public domain, that they should only discuss with the government. What are we talking about? Are there n number of examples of those in service, whether during Congress or BJP regime, who've come out and have exposed what has transpired during the previous regimes? Would you like to respond to Mr. Shiva?
I'll just like to make 2 points. Number one, when people are writing about their memoirs, the autobiographies, it's not about an expose. They are giving their own understanding of how things, happened at that particular point of time. It's not sort of, blaming one side or the other, just giving an account of how things happened. The second point that I would like to make is that I do not think that at that time, the world was telling India to hold its hands, to stay back. In my view, at that time, the world wanted India to take action. The world was behind India because you see, even 26/11, there were so many Americans who had died. There were so many Jews who had died. There were so many Europeans who had died. They wanted India to set an example as far as action against terrorism is concerned. But India, for its own reasons, without going into that, India decided not to go in for that. And I think that is something that will sort of, always hang as far as, the government of that time is concerned. And going forward, we have demonstrated that when it was the Uri attacks, September 2016, surgical strikes took place. When it was Pulwama, February 2019, it was the Balakot strikes that took place. And I think that message has gone out loud and clear to the supporters of terror, not only across the border, but I think across the world, that India is not going to compromise with its territorial integrity and its sovereignty.
Right.
And I think that is the sort of action that needed to be taken at that time, which it was not.
All right. One by one. Coming to you. Just one by one. The point is this, that during the UPA regime, there was no response to several of those attacks. During the NDA regime, they've shown resolve. There's been Balakot, there's been a surgical strike. There's a marked difference in approach of the two governments. Respond to that.
There is only stunts, promotion, propaganda and photo ops, nothing more than that.
What is the
We had extraditions. My diplomat friend is over here. We had extraditions before in the past also. Even during the Congress regime, we never did this kind of a stunt that is happening today.
Tell us the names.
Okay, no, wait.
Tell us the names, sir. You're saying something.
There are. I'll take it out. Now, number two, he knows it. Number two, what is weak and what is strong? You have people coming out, illegal immigrants from United States of America. Look how the Chinese are coming. And look how the Indians are coming.
Are we talking about terrorists?
Is that
not about Vivek? That's a totally different debate. It is not correct. Vivek, that's not a correct debate. That's a totally different debate. You're talking about those who violated the law of that land as a sovereign country. They have to send them back. We're talking about terrorists over here. We're talking about terrorists over here.
Vivek, just 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds. Barack Obama. He is quoting Barack Obama.
I'm not quoting Barack Obama.
Yes, you were quoting Barack Obama's book.
I'm quoting Fali Major.
You were quoting Barack Obama's book. I do not believe him. I do not believe the American media.
Don't believe him. Now let me come.
No, why? Then believe the Times report that this Prime Minister was divided in chief. Then you also believe the American President.
United States.
No.
He's been the president of the United
Sir,
States.
10 साल वीजा नहीं मिला है गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री को।
Vivek, why are we mixing up issues?
Anyway, just give me 20 seconds.
Terrorists and India's response to terror.
You can tell him that Barack Obama is wrong.
Don't connect it with domestic politics, please.
Just 20 seconds. Just 20 seconds. आप बोल रहे ना फर्क क्या है? फर्क ये है कि there was once a time Prime Minister invited Yasin Malik to the Prime Minister's office and today गर्दन पे हाथ पकड़कर रखकर तहावुर राना को ला जा रहा. Point 1. Point 2. Forget Barack Obama. I agree with you. Manish Tiwari has also written a book saying the same thing. Forget Manish Tiwari also now. Third point, and I'm ending here. Mr. Vivek Srivastava, my good friend, has said that how dare this retired army person, Air Force person speak after the government tenure is over to the media. He has a problem with that. I take it on board even though I don't agree with the language used. But when government of India was taking stand against Pakistan 26/11 2008, the minority affairs minister says कि नहीं ये तो RSS हिंदुओं ने किया. That is okay. Compromising India's stand at that point of time by which the Pakistanis got a clean sheet is okay, but Fali Major has committed treason.
Nobody knew at that time what happened and who did. Who the hell was Antule?
Why open your mouth and comment?
आप 15 साल के बाद उसको लेकर आए हैं और अभी भी क्लियर नहीं है क्या उसके खिलाफ
We didn't know at that time it was Pakistan.
This is the point. This is the point. Let me bring in Anish. Anish, you know, there are leaders even from your political party who have made controversial comments when it comes to this. You know, who've jumped the gun. You know, you have from the Congress Mr. Vijay Wadetiwar and others who have made. Mr. Digvijay Singh's comments are well known. You know, why even give any kind of credence to such conspiracy theories at a time of crisis? You know, when you come out and start politicizing things such as terror attacks, there's bound to be criticism coming in from the other side. Anish.
Madhav, to begin with, I think we need to commend the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and the NI and the Defence Minister for the successful recovery of Tahawwur Rana and the Congress Party, of course.
Yes.
I think in many ways, this is a major victory for India and must be celebrated as such, right? But governance is about continuity. You mentioned extraditions that did happen. Abu Jindal was extradited to this country under a UPA government. His trial continues even today because there is a process of law and order in this country and the courts will take their time. I want to say though that this is unfortunately being turned into a moment of polarization, celebration, condemnation. As a Mumbaikar, as someone who knows people who've lost family members, as someone who's lost family friends in an attack, this is not a moment for celebration. It's a moment for quiet reflection. It's a small moment to say a prayer for justice. And it's a moment to not politicize this issue. I agree with you. Politicians, including the former Home Minister who made statements like these, should not make such statements. Statements as to why it took so long should not be made. But on the other side as well, we must remember that governance is about continuity. That no Indian, regardless of what political party they belong to, needs to show their patriotism on their sleeve. No Home Minister of this country is an anti-national, and no leader in their right mind has ever sacrificed India's interests.
Very well said. No, very well said. I completely agree with you on that. But, you know, let me come to Karan Verma on this. Karan Verma, in the spirit of bipartisanship, as several panelists here are expressing, you know, all sides will have to acknowledge the work. Yes, the final push was given by the Modi government. There's no two ways about it. But aspects such as the mutual legal assistance treaty, whether it is the red corner notices that were issued, there's a fair amount of work. And diplomatically, Mr. Salman Khurshid taking it up with then his counterpart Hillary Clinton, there was some base on which the NDA could build from. Why take away from that?
So, Madhav, you know, as much as these words sound music to the ears, and I appreciate, but they are far from the reality. You know, this is one area where I'm glad this government didn't show the continuity of the previous one. Because the previous one, I mean, you can talk about all the sins they've committed, but this is one disservice which should never be forgiven, never be forgotten. Here was a party, here was a government that right after 26/11 not only said this is RSS ki sazish, their leaders, but they also went ahead with Sharm el-Sheikh. Can you imagine what sort of a diplomatic blunder that was? Mentioning Baluchistan, monkey balancing. I mean, that is the worst kind of diplomacy you can ever see. And plus, it must be pointed out, Rakesh Maria spoke about it at length in his book. Let me say it now. RVS Mani has talked about how they tried to spin this entire Hindu terror theory inside the corridors of the Home Ministry. So they can never ever be forgiven for that. They continued with the most favored nation status. Can you imagine this? There was glaring evidence at that time also through David Coleman Headley and others, and still they were pushing this theory of Hindu terror even in the Samjhauta case. So this is a government which should never be forgiven. We don't want continuity from where they were, and I'm glad that's happened. From most favored nation status to today, where we have surgical strikes, where we have air strikes, I think we've come a long way. They were still continuing with this entire Aman Ki Asha brigade. So I'm glad that it's a departure from where we were at that time. And also, it is a moment of reflection. Of course, it is a moment of reflection. But even at this moment of reflection, Prithviraj Chavan, a CM of Maharashtra who has been a CM and a Congress stalwart, his heart goes out for Tahawwur their priorities. They are quick to jump in creating this Hindu terror theory. They are quick to ask for a fair trial, but their heart doesn't go out for the victims of 26/11.
Okay,
that shows their mindset.
Yeah, well, that's a fair trial, which is a promise of the Indian government also.
Yes.
So I don't think we should read too much into that. But Vivek Salas, one question I will ask you. Your party spokesperson soon after this comes out to say, why is it taken 14 years? You know, on the one hand, you have Mr. P. Chidambaram who says that no, this is the wheels of justice turning slowly. This is a process of government that started during UPA and that it has culminated in NDA. If either that is true or your party's leaders are true, and you know Mr. Pramod Tiwari who's coming out to say that Modi ji bahut der kar di, how can these contradictory positions be taken by opposition political parties?
I think credit should be given to both the UPA as well as the NDA. You know, UPA initiated this extradition. We cannot deny. No one can deny here. They took the initiative. It was carried forward by the NDA government led by Narendra Modi-ji, and finally we have got Tahawwur Rana back in our country. But extraditions have been in the country before as well. You know, there have been a lot of people who have flown away from India. They have left India. They have cheated India. They have, in 2014 it was in the the manifesto of the Bharatiya Janata Party ki hum Dawood Ibrahim ko bhi wapas lekar aayenge. But nothing has been done so far. You know, there are a lot to be done still. I don't condemn the government that it's doing nothing. As far as the terrorism and the cross-border terrorism or the world terrorism is concerned, every government stands by the country itself. You know, and politics should not be played. You know, we were talking about territories as well. The territories have been, if you see the latest intervention by the Chinese in the Indian territories, and the Secretary of the Indian government also gave the statement that some counties have been built. So the country should, and the Home Ministry or the Prime Ministry or Honorable Prime Minister should think about that as well. You know, but we were talking about Pathankot. We were also talking about Balakot. We were talking about Pakistan. But in the Pathankot case, the ISI was invited to Pakistan to investigate. Can we deny from that? Yes. The ISI was called from Pakistan. They were given the red carpet. Come, please, sir, investigate. And what had happened at the end of the day, we all know. So there are flaws and advantages in both the UPA and NDA. And I think this guy who is here, this Tahawwur Rana, justice should be given to whom.
Okay. Why call the ISI to investigate? Shehzad, quick response.
First of all, this is coming from a spokesperson of a party which, when Supreme Court banned Simi, said Simi is innocent, Mulayam Singh Yadav. This is coming from a party which said Muslim terrorists should be released. 2012 they released, and the Allahabad High Court stopped it, saying Padma Shri bhi doge kya in logon ko, and they were convicted later on in Varanasi and Rampur blast. It's coming from a party which actually said agencies of India have done Pulwama. You want to believe what he's saying, that ISI was given red carpet? I would take it with bag full of salt. But let me come to the other issue that Gawande ji
ISI did come to the country. That's a fact.
No, 1 second.
Never Pakistan.
You cannot lie on the television.
I'm asking you a question. Just allow.
They were given the red carpet.
No, this is not right, Mr. Sellers. You asked a question. Let him respond. I'm asking a question.
Either Madhav is not competent to ask, or you will reiterate and then respond.
It's okay. No side debate, please. Yes,
in fact, for the first time, rather than going to Sharm el-Sheikh and saying we are involved in Baluchistan, we have accepted and got Pakistan to accept that yes, we have done this in Pathankot, we have done this in Pulwama, and we are coming to take the accountability. That is the fundamental difference I'm saying. That is what has been achieved under Modi. Rajnaitik Ichha Shakti chahiye. Now let me come to what Gawande ji is saying, because I think he's making a larger and more important point. Gawande ji, continuity to hai. I'll tell you how. Us samay 26/11 was blamed on Hindus. This time also 6 months ago, Vijay Vadatiwar, you know who he is, right? LOP the MBA ke, your LOP. Hindus have killed Mr. Hemant Karkare. This is what he said 6 months ago, not continuity. Continuity अगर रहती ना तो नक्सलिज्म would be in 120 districts. Continuity रहती तो 370 छाती पे रहता हमारे और आतंकवाद और पत्थरबाजी चलती रहती. But because there is no continuity, now I'm asking only one question. UAPA law amendment was brought in by UPA government. They are opposing it today. NIA law amendment, UPA government opposing it today. Where is the continuity? And finally, sir spoke about Dawood. मैं पता नहीं विवेक जी इनकी टीम में किसकी टीम में. Sharad Pawar during the Mumbai blast had said instead of 12 blasts, 13 blasts took place so that one blast could be shown as if it was done by Hindus in Muslim area. Who was protecting Dawood? And Prakash Ambedkar is on record that Sharad Pawar has met Dawood. I don't make this allegation. Prakash Ambedkar. Is Ambedkar ji lying? He has made this allegation.
Okay, Anish,
now you tell me.
Anish,
This allegation has been made for almost a decade. If the government has proof that Sharad Pawar ji met
put him
Dawood Ibrahim,
You tell
please
Prakash
put him in
Ambedkar.
jail.
Tell
No, please put him in jail. Prakash Ambedkar is nobody.
Ambedkar's grandson is a liar.
Prakash Ambedkar ji can make claims in politics, but it is the job of investigating agencies to investigate.
Okay.
I'll tell you one thing. No, I want to respond, Madhav, to one very specific claim.
Quickly.
When Pawar Sahib said that there was a 13th bomb blast, why did he say it? To prevent communal riots. What happened in this country today? When Nagpur riots happen, the Nagpur Central MLA says that some communities are inciting riots, some communities are doing this.
Can you
A
explain how
BJP
the riot
MLA.
was
The
prevented?
BJP wants to fan the fuels of communal
what's the logic
hatred.
here? What's
We
the
tried
logic
to
here?
prevent communal
How is
hatred.
he
Please
preventing
explain the
communal
logic.
rights? One second.
Because there was a situation, Madhav, and everyone knows this, wherein if this has been turned as Pakistan wanted into a Hindu-Muslim issue, Bombay, then now Mumbai, would have seen communal riots that my father grew up
communal
I
riots.
agree with that. You
There
agree
were
with that?
already communal. One second. First of all, there were already communal riots. I don't think Mr. Gawande was in Mumbai at that time. There were already communal riots. Point number 2. So, to monkey balance 12 blasts done by Muslims, by Muslim terrorist groups, you have to say Hindu terror group did one non-existent blast. This is 2611 playbook. That Hindus should be blamed without evidence. Give Pakistan a clean sheet. Pakistan was getting exposed. How was your country responsible for the 13th blast?
Your
You
country
please
was not
explain to me.
responsible. Nobody said that Hindus committed the 13th blast.
And you are owning it up on national television.
And take credit.
And you are
The
taking
former
credit
Chief
for
Minister
this
has
to
owned
avoid
up.
Clean sheet to the
To avoid riots, he just said, to avoid riots, we lied about the 13th blast, attributing that it's happened in the Muslim community. Can you imagine what sort of disservice Sharad Pawar did, and you are proud of it here? I think you owe an apology.
The role of a government
This is the
to
role of a
ensure-
government to lie about it, to brazenly lie about it and then rationalize it. If anything, you should be ashamed of this lie.
Pakistan used it against us. In
When
this
there is
particular
a-
case, Pakistan said, देखो ये इन्होंने किया है, हमारा कोई लेना देना नहीं.
There is nothing wrong if
In
you are
line-
able to control the riots in the nation. There is nothing wrong.
Invent a blast on Hindus.
सोचिए जरा, सोचिए
नहीं
जरा।
नहीं आप बताइए ना.
Okay, let me
question
just
is
come
of
now.
intent.
Just come in now. There are some very serious questions that emerge from it, but I don't want to sidetrack from the larger debate on 2611. And let me bring in the sole survivor we have on the panel, Ankur Chawla. Ankur Chawla, as a 2611 survivor, when you hear all this surround sound of the political discourse in the country, you know, as a survivor, as somebody who would have thought that Tahawwur Rana coming in would be some sort of closure. First of all, none of us ever thought it was possible. It's a big deal that we finally have Tahawwur Rana here, facing the music, facing the legal system here in India. But as someone who's a survivor, when you hear all of this political discourse, how does it make you feel?
Well, honestly, I know people who have lost their lives. I know the families. I know the trauma, how much they have gone through. It might be silence right now, but those silences are still echoing in the, in the minds and the hearts of, of the families who are left behind. Looking at all of that, it's a great moment. It's not only, let's say, the legal moment for us. It is also a great symbolic moment for people like us who have really, been very happy about the fact that the justice is delayed, but it's not forgotten at all. So for me, it is a great moment. I'm in touch with a lot of people. It's a great moment of pride and joy in a way, and it's a great moment of reflection as well. And these are the moments who actually take us back, to times. Looking at all of that, I feel that internal political, whatever things can happen internally as a country is okay. I mean, and that's usual, that keeps going on. But these are the sort of moments when I think all the political parties should come together. It's a national issue. And should be just proud of the fact that at least there is a step towards the closure, if not the closure. It's a bit shameful, sorry to say, to see all of this happening right now. I can't imagine political parties fighting over this issue, which is such a symbolic thing, which is such a moment of, let's say, the step towards the right direction. So I give credit to the government, I give credit to the current government, the old governments, and for me, government is supposed to be doing this. I don't know why we are saying that somebody should be credited or somebody should not be credited. It's the government's job, for me as a layman, to get, justice for the victims who have been, a part of this.
You want to respond to that, Vivek Shah? He's not a political person.
Ankur,
He's a victim.
I'll tell you what. You are absolutely right when you say credit should be given to the present government as well as the previous government.
Sure.
And this is what we are also trying to do. But then when photo ops start, credit starts discrediting UPA, discrediting Congress, showing us as anti-nationals, showing us as Pakistani agents. आप ये बैठ के कर क्या रहे हैं कि हम सब पाकिस्तानी एजेंट हैं? ये झूठ बोलते हैं.
Let's be fair.
That is what he has been doing.
No, he has not said.
What is his narrative?
There are certain.
What is his narrative?
There are certain comments that he. No, he has never said. He has never used the word.
No, he is virtually saying it.
Those statements, some of which we have already discussed. If we can quickly get those graphics up on the screen over here. If I can request my PCR team to quickly bring that on. This is what Digvijay Singh in 2010. He was at the book launch of RSS Ki Sazish 2611. I think we've got that date wrong. It's a little bit earlier than that. He said, will Hindu terror lobby, apologize for the question that's being asked, but this is the controversial statement that he made at that particular book launch function, which caused a huge amount of controversy as far as Digvijay Singh is concerned. Let's look at some of the other controversial comments. He, of course, did not rule out anything, or as far as the role of RSS in 2611 is concerned. That was in that particular book launch that he had gone to. He says, we have evidence of RSS's role in terror activity. Another comment that he made in 2011, I have got evidence not in this particular case, is what he later said as far as his comments are concerned. Let's quickly bring up some of the other comments as well. This was Vijay Wadetiwar in 2024, just last year, as was being mentioned here by the BJP spokesperson. Karkare wasn't killed by terrorists, says Vijay Wadetiwar. He also goes on to say that Karkare was killed by a cop close to the RSS. Extremely controversial comments. What would you say about this, Mr. Vivek Srivastava? Is this responsible commentary according to you?
I think what Mr. Digvijay Singh was responsible. If he had said it, it needs to be investigated. The first terrorist of this nation, Nathuram Godse, of a particular... No, don't raise your hand and stop me.
If he could have been, his party was in power in 2010.
What party? RSS के साथ links थे ना?
नहीं, 1 second.
आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
We're talking about don't mix up issues, please.
No, why not?
Terror. We're talking about terrorists. We're talking about 2611 Tahawwur Rana.
I am not supposed to talk about the legacy. I am talking about Digvijay Singh. I want to talk about Digvijay Singh. Can I speak?
When he talks about 2611 and the role of RSS, talk about that.
Can I speak on Digvijay Singh?
And
he spoke of RSS.
Are you justifying
the legacy of RSS?
Are you justifying
Why are you stopping me on speaking about the legacy of RSS?
This is not history we are discussing. We are discussing this comment.
Why not? Where are the origins of RSS? What is the agenda? What is the ideology? What is the root of the RSS? What do they teach?
You can shout your lungs out.
Why do they take the sticks in the morning?
You can shout till your lungs pop out. It does not make any difference.
You are not letting me speak.
You are not letting me speak. About 2611.
Don't try to scuttle my voice.
Please stick to Tahawwur Rana 2611.
Why not? RSS ऐसा संस्था है. उसका investigation होना चाहिए, sir.
What is the proof? What is the proof that they were laundered?
ठीक है.
Give us the proof.
This organization has a bad track history. If a big leader like Digvijay Singh says it should be investigated,
did he prove it?
Of course.
Did he prove it?
No. Listen to me.
Where was the evidence?
Maybe not in this case.
It's great to take a maximalist position, Vivek Srivastava.
Right from demolition of the Babri Masjid.
You can back up your arguments with facts. There's no
facts are very clear. The facts are very clear. What is the DNA of RSS? What is the DNA of RSS?
You can say DNA of the RSS or BJP. You can say DNA of Congress. Is there hard evidence to show that there are... So why did Rahul Gandhi take back his comments on RSS then?
No, that's okay. If it was not...
That is okay.
No. Investigation has to take place.
Very frankly and candidly. Just now my dear friend Anish Gawande, he has said that, have you proven the allegation on Sharad Pawar? I said no, it has been made by Ambedkar ji. So he said he should prove it. On RSS, 60 years, 70 years, they're making allegation. They were in government for so many years. 10 years you were in UPA. आप तो सरकार चलाते थे. कर देते ना RSS को ban full जिंदगी के लिए. दूसरी बात. Now my limited scope is this. I thank Tukaram Ombre, and I'm sure Mr. Gawande will also, because he caught Kasab alive. Otherwise, that Kalava was there. Rakesh Maria, appointed by their government, not by our government. Rakesh Maria ji in his book has said that had he not been caught alive, Hindu terror paid kar diya jata. And he has just now accepted. I am very sorry. Gawande ji today has made cardinal error. He has said that yes, for sake of saving Dawood, we have invented 13th blast and blamed it on Hindus. Now the same tool book was used in 2611.
He never said Dawood.
Quick response.
Saving was not of Dawood, it was to prevent communal riots. Yes. So to put words into my mouth, Mr. Punawala. No, you are not blaming Hindus. The idea was when there is a foreign government that wants to incite a riot using blasts, so your responsibility is to protect your citizens. It is to diffuse tensions in the immediate term.
Lying and
after that, nobody was there a statement ever made after that Hindus were involved in that attack?
Yes. Ashok Sanjay.
No.
Vijay
Vadattiyar ji might have made that
LOP of
statement.
your
Pawar
government,
Sahib has not
of
made a
your
statement
organizations.
that the Bombay blasts when he was chief minister were ever caused by him.
I want to make two very short points. Number one is that by putting the blame on the RSS on Hindu terror, it really got Pakistan completely off the hook. That means the whole world was looking at Pakistan, but now Pakistan was able to go around the world, Tom saying that, you know, there are responsible members of the government itself who are claiming that, who are blaming the Hindu saffron terror outfits. So we are not involved in it. And I think that really removed the pressure, and it removed also as far as the government is concerned in India, that they were not able to take action. Second point that I want to make is when people are saying, why did it take such a long time? You know, let me mention 2 points again here. You know, I have dealt with extradition cases when I was out. These are highly technical cases. They are very long drawn out cases. They are very, you have to go into great detail. There are papers which go to and fro. So I think the credit needs to go to the government that it has persisted. The second point in this is that, you know, when the US courts had acquitted Tahawwur Rana from this in 2011, we went back to them 2013 and 14. It was still not, the case was not brought against him. So I think really it fell upon the successor government of the NDA in 2014 to take it back to the US authorities and to convince them that he was the person who was involved in 2611, not only convince them that he was involved, but also get him extradited to India to face justice. I think that is where the credit needs to go.
Vivek, let's respond to that. It case fell flat during UPA government. He was acquitted. It was therefore the NDA government's push that has now come to this fruition where Tahawwur Rana has come back to India. Respond to the former ambassador.
I'm not discrediting the NDA government, not at all. But as I earlier said, that the credit should go to both the government who took the initiative and who
the
brought him
government where
back.
the case fell flat also, as he says?
Yeah.
Even the government where the case fell flat, as he says?
If the case had gone flat, or then he would not have been extradited by now, you know.
He was acquitted. He says he was acquitted.
Who was acquitted?
Tahawwur Rana.
Was he given a clean sheet?
Yes.
Was he given a clean sheet?
Yes, I just read out the graphics also.
No problem. No problem. If he was given a clean sheet, you know, the credit should be given. If the government has done something good, the credit should be given to the government.
But that's the whole point.
But we
were
talking about Hemant Karkare ji right now. You know, do you remember what statement Pragya Thakur gave about Hemant Karkare? You remember?
Of course we remember.
You will be ashamed to see what the Bharatiya Janata Party MP statement. No, you cannot defend. You cannot defend Pragya Thakur because Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi also, you know, condemned her. He condemned her.
What on the statement with 2611?
Madhav, let him say
what is the connection of that with 2611?
She was trying to portray that the IPS officer Hemant Karkare was responsible for her going to the jail. And because Hemant Karkare was doing the investigation for Pragya Thakur, such thing happened. That was her claim.
Sir, unlike
quick response.
I am addressing the questions posed to me. I condemn Pragya Thakur now. Mulayam Singh Yadav, Simi is innocent. Condemn it.
Yeah.
You condemn?
Yeah.
No.
Mulayam Singh Yadav said Simi is innocent. Condemn it.
No, it is not a question of...
Supreme Court had convicted. I have to condemn Pragya. I condemn the statement.
He's asking a question. The questions for Vivek Salas, not for you.
Simi is
Vivek
innocent.
Salas.
Condemn it.
No, did you ban the Simi?
Supreme Court banned it.
No, did Bharatiya Janata Party ban it?
We
were saying
and Simi is banned again now.
Ban Simi. Did you ban it?
Yes, we have banned it.
No, you have not.
Okay, Anish wanted to comment on the larger question. Anish wanted to comment on the larger question.
I think in all of this, we've forgotten that this country has a bureaucracy that extends beyond the government in power. So we must give some credit to our investigating agencies for doing their job regardless of who is in power. And we demean them by saying that under a particular government, certain actions are taken.
Right.
What I do oppose, let me tell you, the unfortunate reality is the politicizing of this. Let me remind you, in this case of a statement made by somebody who then went on to become a BJP Lok Sabha candidate Ujjwal Nikamji, who said that Ajmal Kasab was given biryani in jail, which was patently untrue. So politicizing of national security, the making of a 2611 case into a mockery of justice and a national primetime joke.
I want Karan to comment on 2 points. 2 points, one by one. One is the point that he has raised. Secondly, you have others such as Congress MP Raja Wading, who says that what about other individuals who India wants, whether it is those accused of, promoting the Khalistani elements, whether it is individuals such as Panoon, Goldie Brar, why not get them from US soil as well?
So if anyone showed that resolve back in 2011, when Tahawwur Rana was acquitted, it was the then Chief Minister Narendra Modi, and you can dig back into the archives when he said that he has to be extradited, no matter what, and he's lived up to his resolve, by the way. For our friend from Sharad Pawarji's party, he just said the bureaucracy. You know what the bureaucracy has said? What RVS Mani has said? How you came up with the entire theory of Hindu terror, and I want to prove that, Madhav. In the Samjhauta case, ये अभी विवेक जी बहुत चीख चिल्ला रहे थे यहाँ पे, इनको मैं बताता हूँ. Samjhauta case, UNSC, the United Nations, after listening to David Coleman Headley, they pass a resolution 1267. So just so we are absolutely correct, which says that Arif Kasmani of the Lashkar-e-Taiba is responsible for the Samjhauta blast. उसके बाद 20 जनवरी 2013 को सुशील कुमार शिंदे खड़े होकर कहते हैं आरएसएस ने ये कराया है. He should be ashamed of himself giving a clean chit to Pakistan. जब एक रेजोल्यूशन है, एक कन्फेशन है, उसको आपने फॉलो अप नहीं किया, आपने डिससर्विस करी, आपने एक एंटी नेशनल काम किया. मैं तो आई एम स्टिकिंग माय नेक आउट एंड सेइंग ब्यूरोक्रेसी हैज सेड दैट यू हैव डन एन एंटी नेशनल जॉब. यू हैव डन एन एंटी नेशनल जॉब. योर हेड शुड बाउ इन शेम. और आज आप क्रेडिट किस बात की मांग रहे हैं भाई? यू शुड अपोलोजाइज फॉर दिस. क्यों? आपको मैंने बताया क्यों?
बिल्कुल नहीं.
हिंदू टेरर की थ्योरी आपने बनाई. एंड ऑल दीस नेम्स व्हिच यू मेंशन, माधव, दे विल फॉलो अप. अगर कोई गवर्नमेंट फॉलो अप कर रही है, वो करंट डिस्पेंसेशन है. ये तो हिंदुओं पे पूरी चीज डाल रहे थे, ये तो ब्लास्ट भी जस्टिफाई कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर. तो ये फर्क है. आज देयर इज अ ह्यूज लैंडस्केप चेंज एंड दैट मस्ट बी वेलकम.
One by one. Coming one by one. Respond to that.
Because it is about,
Okay, Anish, we want to
if you are saying we were making it a Hindu issue, why did we extradite Abu Jundal in 2012?
One second.
Why would you bring him back?
I'll answer this. Anish has made 2 points. First, he is very concerned कि कसाब का PR खराब हो गया बिरयानी का. You know who made that first allegation? माधव जी, आपके भी रिसर्च को मैंने मात दे दी. 2009 सामना. Then, listen, Hindustan Times 6th August 2009, India Today 2010, PTI 2009-10. बताओ. Anyway, forget that. That's not the issue. One second.
So what? जो प्रोटोकॉल जेल का है वो रहेगा ना.
आप का है बीच में बोल रहे हो, 10 सेकंड दे दो ना. दूसरा, sir has said, Gawande ji has said, respect the bureaucracy and the agencies. Ishrat Jahan was declared terrorist by Asif Ibrahim-led IB. Who batted for her? There's a man called Jitendra Awad, number 2 in NCP today, even before Supriya Sule. Continues to say Ishrat is innocent. Sir, what are your views? Is Ishrat innocent?
The Ishrat Jahan case is pending investigation. Jitendra Awad ji's view is not the view of the party.
He's not the view, but he's a senior leader of your political party.
He's a senior leader of the party.
But so,
Is
how
Sharad
can you
Pawar
discuss
13th plus the view of the party?
That is the view of Pawar Sahib himself, and he's justified.
Okay, but let me come back. Let me come back to a larger question. And in fact, Vivek Srivastava, you can respond to this. Yes. The point is that the government, in its various replies to Parliament, has mentioned 2 or 3 facts. Just listen to me. 16 fugitives from various foreign countries have been brought back by 2018. This is an MEA reply to Parliament. 178 requests have been given to countries formally as far as extradition are concerned, including terrorists, and there are 65 requests that have been made to the United States. As far as economic offenders are concerned, $1.8 billion have been recovered from various offenders between 2014 to 2023. There's a long list of such aspects. When you talk about this government and what it's been able to do as far as offenders, foreign, whether they are terrorists, whether they're economic offenders, this government says that we have a different track record when it comes to previous regimes.
No,
can you take away from that?
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. There's a long list, long list. Things have been happening earlier also. Surgical strikes have been happening earlier also. We had a massive war in 1971 also. Only we did not sell it in the name of Hindu-Muslim, Hindu-Muslim, Hindu-Muslim. When we fought Pakistan, we were not fighting Islam. We were not fighting the Muslims. The narrative with this particular government now tries to say, this is what he's trying to say. Now,
what?
No, listen to me now.
I am myself a Muslim.
आप सुनिए ना सर.
Maybe the only one on this panel.
आपने कसाब के खाने के बारे में बड़े प्रश्न उठाए.
मैंने नहीं उठाया, गवांडे जी की चिंता थी
किसी ने भी
कसाब के
उठाया.
PR की.
जेल का प्रोटोकॉल
कलावा पहन कर उसकी चिंता नहीं थी.
जेल का प्रोटोकॉल
बिरयानी नहीं खाया, कसाब हमारा बिरयानी नहीं खाता.
दिस इज ऑल. आप दाऊद इब्राहिम को नहीं ला पाए, आप मेहुल चौकसी को नहीं ला पाए, आप विजय मल्ल्या को नहीं ला पाए. मैं पूरी एक 50 की लिस्ट दे दूंगा जिसको आप नहीं ला पाए, और जिसको लेकर के आए हो उसका क्या फायदा होने जा रहा है ये आने वाला एक हफ्ता बताएगा.
चलिए, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा सवाल पूछा.
I'm adding to his question because Lalit Modi has also publicly stated that Sushma Swaraj and Vasundhara Raje had helped him when he escaped the country. Your response to that?
He is saying कि इसको नहीं ला पाए, उसको नहीं ला पाए. मैं तो छोड़ता हूँ, बोलो बाकी सब छोड़ो. अफजल गुरु को तो आपने ही सजा दी ना फांसी की. अफजल हम शर्मिंदा है, तेरे कातिल जिंदा है, उसके साथ कौन खड़ा था? कन्हैया कुमार.
हम खड़े थे. हम खड़े थे.
Was it judicial execution?
हाँ, क्यों खड़े थे? अब वो सुन भी लो.
Judicial execution.
अब सुन लो क्यों खड़े थे?
अफजल गुरु innocent.
हमारे हिसाब से मैं बोल लूं नहीं,
क्यों खड़े थे?
जो रोज आप हर डिबेट में अफजल गुरु करते हो और यहाँ लोगों को व्यूअर्स को मिसगाइड करते हो नेशनल टीवी पर. अफजल गुरु के केस में हमारा मानना था उससे और ज्यादा बड़े शातिर जिनको पकड़ना चाहिए उनको छोड़ करके
why oppose the judicial process? Why oppose the judicial process?
Because
the entire point is that the judiciary has performed its function. If you start questioning what our judges do, then there's no end to any debate.
No.
And there will be no justice in this country.
According to us, bigger fishes, the main people who are responsible were let off. And
You're not answering the question. You're not answering my question. My question is, why question the hanging of individuals who have been convicted by the Supreme Court? They've gone to the prison. If all the due processes have been concluded, the whole process has been concluded. If you're going to start questioning now any individual who's accused of committing acts against the country and then start making that into a political issue, it's a huge disservice.
As a patriotic Indian, if I see that the wrong man is being convicted and the judiciary has been misguided by chance.
What did the UPA government do?
And wrong charge sheets have been...
Was it a BJP government? Was it a BJP government? You're targeting them for making all of this communal.
If we feel the wrong man was being charged, then we have a right to go through the constitutional process.
You have a right. Why didn't you raise this issue in Parliament? Why didn't you raise this issue in Parliament? You could have brought this up as far as UPA government is concerned. You are now questioning the BJP and the India government. You have every right to. But I'm pointing out the hypocrisy because it's your own alliance partner, India Alliance, who was in power then.
We raised the issue. We tried the judicial process. We tried everything at hand because we said अफजल गुरु से बड़ी मछलियां छूट गई हैं.
एक सेकंड, इन्होंने अब जरा अफजल गुरु पे तो आप निकल गए ये बोल के, वैसे निकले नहीं हो फिर भी बता दूं
जी.
जब अजमल कसाब एंड आवर डियर सर्वाइवर फ्रॉम 26/11, he'll be pained to hear this. जब अजमल कसाब को फांसी की सजा हुई तो उसके लिए मर्सी पिटीशन किसने लिखी है पता होना चाहिए. अरुणा रॉय और हर्ष मंडार ने, जो एनएससी का हिस्सा थे, नेशनल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल, जो कि एक तरह से पीएमओ के भी ऊपर बैठते थे उस टाइम पे. आपको उसके लिए शर्म आती है? उसके लिए माफी मांगेंगे या नहीं मांगेंगे?
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है ना,
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है. देखिए ये हालत है.
Mr. Sajjan, I want you to come in on this, particularly on these two aspects in terms of getting these individuals back from abroad. Do you feel there is a marked difference in approach? Point number one. Point number two, in terms of course, acts such as the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act that was passed by Parliament, how has that actually impacted on ground? Because opposition will say not enough has been done to bring them back. The government will say our track record is far better than our predecessors. Where do you stand?
Basically what I would say is, as I mentioned earlier also, that these are very long, drawn out, tedious, cumbersome processes. These are legal processes. These are judicial processes. But along with that, in terms of putting in all the documents, furnishing all the documents, going through all the legal, and as far as different countries are concerned, their judicial processes and their judicial officials, you have to satisfy them. So it takes a long time, but the political will has to be there to keep pursuing it. And I would say that this government has demonstrated that political will. Otherwise, all the pleas and all the petitions that even a person like Tahawwur Rana was able to put in, he went to the county court, he went to the city court, he went to the Supreme Court, first one justice, then the chief justice. There were so many hoops to cross. So I think it is to the credit of the government that it has been able to overcome all these obstacles. And I think in the other cases also, it is pursuing them relentlessly. And sooner or later, and I hope sooner, I think we will be able to see more results, not only related to terror, but also as far as the economic offences are concerned.
All right. And I want to come back. All right. Very quickly.
So, just one line. Today, in hindsight, when we have got Tahawwur Rana here and everyone is saying we must endorse this extradition, can these three gentlemen, tell me that in hindsight, whoever said Hindu terror for this 26/11, we are sorry, we are wrong? Can you say it?
Do you think they should all apologize? All those who mentioned the word Hindu terror today, one by one. Yeah,
I think
first.
the Bharatiya Janata Party should, apologize first, because we saw in the US the hardcore terrorist Pannu was there and he was chanting Khalistan Zindabad, and
what is the connection with Hindu terror?
The foreign minister was standing helpless. The foreign minister of the
ministers have
country
gone
They were not
was-
the same.
What does he expect? Like
No,
Jaishankar
there were two separate events.
He was chanting.
There were two separate
He
events.
was
I think
chanting.
the
And I would like to add
the
one more thing.
inauguration
One
and
more
that
thing
event
should
were
be-
two separate
one
events to
more
the best
thing
of my
should
knowledge. I don't know if you know better.
No,
but there
one
were
more
two
thing
separate
should
events
also
for the
be
foreign
added to
minister.
this.
But
Please,
come to the
please think
question,
about
Abbas.
Kulbhushan Jadhav as well, He is lying in the Pakistan jail. He is a citizen of the
How
country.
is that an answer to what
He-
I've asked?
He should be brought back from Pakistan.
Good for you. You
should-
That is
we
what,
all
that is
agree.
what
We all
I
agree, and that's
ask
why the
the
government
people,
wanted the-
your panel,
at the Hague
Mr.
as well.
Shehzad and everyone.
The government has fought this matter in the Hague as well. But I think the
He should
entire
be-
bogey.
He should be brought back.
You've not answered
That
the
is
question.
my- that is my-
You've not answered the
that is my
question.
dream
Hindu
for
terror.
government of
Vivek
India.
Srivastava,
Yes.
will you like to respond to that question?
Yes,
All
very
those who
clearly-
raised the question of Hindu terror, we pointed out several such statements.
We will
Should they
not apologize. We will not apologize. We still feel certain Hinduvadi sangatans, they have a dubious
what
record.
basis?
They spoil the law and order situation of
In
this nation.
2016,
That's a separate
Yeah,
question.
Yes.
Say that they are spreading terror is a totally different situation. There are law and order issues. There are political parties that cause disruption. Even your political party is accused of political violence. That is not what we are discussing here. Terror is a completely different league. When you accuse a particular religion or a particular party of committing acts of terror, one should have solid evidence to back that up. Do you not think, Mr. Srivastava? Others are playing with national security.
No. It's not a question of playing with national security. Here what is happening is Mr. Modi is just trying to divert from the national issues, raise this issue, and ambassadors like Ashok ji are coming. Sir, आपने यूपी और कांग्रेस के regime में कोई
Sir,
काम नहीं किया इस मुल्क में।
what about
नहीं, ये तो बात हो रही है। आप जो एनडीए के लिए बैटिंग कर रहे हैं, आपने
No, but what about
यूपीए और
whatever
कांग्रेस के
individual
शासन में कुछ भी काम नहीं
Sir,
किया।
he is
इस
talking
मुल्क के
about-
डिप्लोमेट्स ने कुछ नहीं किया। हमारे देश ने कुछ किया ही नहीं है।
This is not the subject of the
This is the
conversation
subject
today.
because you
It
are
is
battling
not.
for one
It is
particular
not.
government and one particular party.
Okay, I'm going to allow Mr. Sajana to respond to
But
you.
that was not the issue. He's diverting it.
Yeah, exactly. This is not the issue, but all the comments that I had made, that it's a very cumbersome process. This is all done whether it is this government or it is that government. It is irrespective of the government because you're dealing with foreign powers, foreign judicial systems, and the system remains the same.
Gawande has to answer.
आप confuse मत करिए, आप confuse मत करिए, please.
Okay,
Confuse
okay.
मत करिए
Two or three questions that I have for
Gawande
Anish
ji
today.
should answer.
हम नहीं मांगेंगे माफी और इन्वेस्टिगेशन होना चाहिए, हर बार होना चाहिए।
I had a question for you. One is, of course, R.R. Patel's comment that was mentioned initially. बड़े-बड़े शहरों में छोटी-छोटी चीजें होती हैं. He had to resign for that comment. Then there is, of course, Mr. Lalit Modi, who has in fact named Mr. Sharad Pawar, Praful Patel, and Rajiv Shukla as leaders who actually helped him flee the country. And then, of course, various other controversial comments, including this Hindu terror comment that have been made by leaders who you are in alliance with and several who are in your party as well. How do you respond and reconcile to these?
So let me start off by saying very simply that terror does not have a religion and you should not be coloring any terror attack with religious hues. Yet remember that the intent behind this is what is at stake over here. When the bomb blasts were made into a 13 bomb blast issue, the intent was that Mumbai starts functioning on Monday again. When the intent is to create this into a Hindu-Muslim issue, into an anti-national issue, the intent is to distract and deviate and keep this debate going. It's the job of the government to do this.
Okay.
We brought Abu Jindal back, we would have done it again, and
That
national
was, by the
security
way,
remains a
deportation,
priority.
not extradition from what I remember. But I want to ask Mr. Sajanhar in closing, where are we going to go from here? We have a Pakistan that is in denial. We have given dossier to Pakistan. They have not done, they've taken little or no action, perhaps a little more after the FATF threats, etc. came out. But how are we going to take this forward and expose Pakistan? Because here is an individual who can share with us the role of Pakistan Army, the ISI, and if he does sing while in custody as he's expected to, how can India take this forward diplomatically speaking?
I think that's going to be a huge, addition to what India has been taking. India has been, I think at every global international fora, India has been talking about the terror that has been emanating from Pakistan, not only as far as India is concerned, but it's become the epicenter of terrorism for the whole world. So I think this will be a shot in the arm. We'll be able to tell the whole world. And I think there are, again, huge chances that Pakistan, again, might be put under the FATF. But I think in addition to that also, Madhav, it is not only the involvement of the Pakistan, ISI, etc. Maybe that is for another debate. What were the sleeper cells within the country which helped Tahawwur Rana and David Coleman Headley to plan this whole attack? Because they did Rekhi not only in Mumbai, in other places. What were the other plans? I think all that needs to be ferreted out
Okay.
from Tahawwur
Quick
Rana
closing comment
and
from Ankur.
Rana.
Quick closing comment. Ankur, your closing comment in terms of what other survivors you speak to, what their expectations are from here on. Quick closing comment.
See, as a survivor, as victims, family and stuff, we are not looking for vengeance. We are looking for closures. We are looking for accountability. And with due respect, I think it's surprising to see so many loose comments coming from politicians. If there is an accountability to the terrorists, there should be an accountability for the loose comments as well, is what I feel.
Okay.
Second, I really feel that, overall, the sentiment right now is much more strong than what it was. And again, I'm not trying to be, giving one-sided to one party or something, but I really feel that the sentiment is much more stronger than what it was. Opposition is important, but I think rather than fighting, I think this is the time to get inspired.
This is the time for all to come together. That's the larger message coming in. Thanks so much for that, Ankur Chawla. Also like to thank our other panelists, Shahzad Purawala, Karan Verma, Ashok Sajanar, Anish Gawande, Vivek Srivastav and Vivek Silas. And thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the National Debate. The biggest news break of the day. Exclusive that set the primetime agenda. Bringing you stories that matter.